Alright, hi everyone. This is Desiree from Toadallystamping, and today I am going to show you how to make a 3D pop-up card. So this card here just comes in a little box, and when you open it up it pops up. So then you can decorate it on all four sides. This is the card. Lay it flat, put it right back in there, put it back in the container or the sleeve, and then when you get ready, just pull it out again. So as you can see, this box here, you can see the rubber band in there. That is actually the mechanism that makes the box pop. So even without the case, if you lay it flat, it will just pop up because of that. So, and we're going to go ahead and kind of put that together today. So, here we go. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with the cube. Okay, you're going to cut a piece of cardstock 7 inches by 9 inches. Alright, and we are going to go ahead and go through some steps together. Okay, when you got it all cut out, then we do have some scoring to do. So the ultimate shape that we want to get, or the end shape that we want to get, is this one right here. So we're going to go ahead and make some score lines and some cuts, and go ahead with cube side 1. All right, so with the short side to the top, we're going to go ahead and we're going to score at 1/2 inch. We're going to go score at 3.5 inches, and we're going to score at 6.5 inches. You're going to rotate your cardstock. So long side is on the top, and you're going to score it at 3 inches and at 6 inches. All right, so what you have then is you have a piece of cardstock with your score lines kind of in, you'll have 6 boxes and 1/2 inch on either side. All right, once you've got that done, flip it over. You're going to notice that there's a raised side and an indented side. You're going to fold to the raised side. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and we're going to burnish those edges. Okay, when we got that done, then we're going to want to go ahead and we are going to want to start making our cuts and our lines. Now, I, being semi-OCD, are going to go ahead and draw the lines so I have perfectly even cuts. I say that because you want to try to get this as precise as you can, because if you don't, then the corners won't fix and the box will be off. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to go ahead and we are going to cut from this top middle score line to this first score line. All right, so you kind of want to be, oh, of course, doesn't happen any other time except when you're doing a video. And I know it doesn't help that I'm on my scoreboard. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and draw a line like that. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to go from this corner to through this bottom score line. Okay, so we want to take this, we want to take it through there like that. Next thing you're going to do is you're just going to go straight up to this first score line. Then you're going to connect this corner from the bottom score line through the first score line to the top. All right. So let me just make sure I got that dead on. You know, I have done this and I still can come out uneven. All right. So that sort of, now you start to get an idea of what the shape looks like. This corner here, you're just going to go ahead and you're just going to cut off the top. Ready? So I'm going to grab my scissors and we're just going to go ahead and make those cuts. Like I said, my OCD kicks in, and if these aren't right, I think about that stuff all day long. And more than likely I come back and make a second box until it's done right. I just want to go ahead and go from this score line and just cut that off. And just cut that down. If you guys see that I'm uneven with this, don't tell me, because it'll bug me. And there you go. So there is side one of your box. The next thing we want to do is we actually want to get a score line right down the center here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and it doesn't really matter how it is, and we're just going to fold it straight up so that this edge meets up with this edge. Okay? And that will then give us our I'm in some bad lighting here. I just cannot see the edge. There we go. I'm just going to go ahead and press that down. Sorry about that. It took me a little bit longer than normal. And now you can see that we've got that score line right down the center. The other score line we're going to make is on this triangle, and we're going to make it straight down the middle. All right, so again, we're going to take the corner and we're just going to go ahead and fold that straight up, press down, give it a little burnish to crisp up that edge. Makes it easier. And there you go. So now what you've got is you push the edges in, the middle in, and then you've got your box. So go ahead and do that. Just give it one quick little burnish, make sure it's all straight. And that's one side of your box done. The second side, we're going to get the same shape. All right. We're going to cut a piece of cardstock at 6.5 by 9.5. Okay. I just happen to have here, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to make some score lines. So short side to the top, we're going to go ahead and we're going to score at 1/2 inch. We're going to score at 3.5 inches. Okay, I'm going to layer cardstock like this, I guess. I don't think it really matters. We're going to go 1/2 inch. We're going to score at 3.5 inches. We're going to score at 6.5 inches. And now you have a piece of cardstock that looks like that. All right. Again, we're going to draw some lines, and we're going to make some cuts, and we're going to go ahead and get the second side of our box. The one thing you do want to make sure of is that where this 1/2 inch on the short side and the 1/2 inch on the long side, you have this tiny little box. It's maybe like 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. That is important because when you make that cut right there, which it has to be right there, don't make it down here. I've made that mistake and I had ended up throwing the cardstock away and starting again. So don't make your cut down here. Make that little triangle cut like it is right there, where these two score lines intersect by that tiny little box. And that's important. I just say that because I've made that mistake. So you actually want to make that line, we'll do that first, right through the center of that intersection. Like that. All right, let's get that out of the way. Your next cut is going to be from this corner, this intersection, through that intersection down to this corner. All right. So again, I've got the lighting, I've got the light of the window behind me, so it's not really easy for me to see. All right, your next score line or your next cut is going to be from this end or the bottom score line to the middle score line. So you're going to cut off that corner, that triangle corner. It's kind of a flimsy ruler too. All righty. And then again, you're going to go up through the center. So from this bottom score line middle, down to the bottom where this meets. I know, I apologize. And then again, from this corner up through this intersection, that top score line intersection. I got that right. Again, if I don't have this right, don't tell me. There you go. And there you've got your shape. So we're cutting this, this, and that. I'm going to tell you why cutting that little corner by the intersection, that half inch square by half inch square is important. I'm going to tell you that here in about 2 seconds. Let's just go ahead and cut this out. Hope you can see. I hope I'm in shot. The reason why you want to cut at this intersection here is because we need these two tabs to be right next to each other when we go to put the box together. So the difference between this side and this side, even though they look pretty much the same, is that on the first side you have the tab up and down, top and bottom, and on the second side you have the tabs next to each other. And that's why when I made this little cut down here, I didn't have those two tabs, and I just completely ended up throwing my cardstock away. So I just want to point that out. Okay, so you're just going to go ahead and burnish those score lines. We're going to do the same as we did to the last one. Okay. Now we want to go ahead and get that score line right through the center. All right, so we're just going to fold it in half and this edge is going to meet this edge here. It's tough making that exactly right. Okay, so there you go, you've got your score line. So again, when you bring this middle in, you're going to have that box. We're going to make another score line right down the center of this triangle. So just bring those edges together. And score. Okay, bring your centers together. Put that together. Make sure that's all evened up. And give it another burnish. Just to make absolutely sure that's right. Okie doke. I think we are done with my scoreboard. Okay. The next thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and put these together. So we are going to do opposite sides. All right, so think of this as a bat or a butterfly. That's how I remembered it when I was putting it together. It just made it so much easier to remember. This tab here is going to get adhered to this edge here. All right. I'm going to go ahead and use glue. You can use sticky tape if you want, as long as you get a good, something strong enough to handle that, you are good. So that edge and that edge are going to come together. Okay. I'm gonna, now Gemma, I really do want to give a good, or a thank you and a shout out to Gemma's videos. This is not my idea. I think she got the idea from someone else too, but her videos are actually divided into two parts. She does one video just for the box and one video just for the tray and the sleeve. I'm just going to do it all in one. Okay, so I'm not going to decorate the box. I'm just going to show you how to make it. Leave the decorating to you. So we've got these two pieces together now, and as you can see, this looks like a little, I don't know, it looks like a bat to me. There's your ears and here's your wings. The next thing we're going to do is, once you've got this together, we're going to go ahead and make that mechanism that holds that rubber band in place to make that box. Okay, so I am just going to, one thing I did forget to get is my rubber band. So I'm going to go ahead and get that in a minute. So the next thing you want to do is you actually want to fold that in half. Okay. On this end here, with the point down, this is where you're going to make your cuts and your hole punches for your mechanism. So you're going to make sure that those are straight. I know that's not. And make sure that this edge down here is even. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to make a couple of punches. Now I'm using a 1/8 inch punch. I found that a 1/16 is too small, and the 1/4 is too big for the ribbon. All right, this is actually a really good size. As you can see here, it doesn't leave a whole lot, like gaping hole was a 1/4 inch and uber tiny for a 1/16. So when you have them together from this middle score line, what you're going to do is you're going to go up about a 1/2 inch, over a 1/2 inch, up a 1/2 inch, and you're going to punch that. Okay? So you're going to go over and up, and you're going to punch that just right about there's good. You're going to separate these. You're going to fold that over so that you get the exact same punch even with on the other side. So you're going to line that up, and you're going to make a punch, and now you have the two, and they're exactly even, same height, same width. And you're going to do the same thing there. You're just going to fold that over and make sure that's even. Take the time to reburnish that. And you're just going to go ahead and make that punch. Line that up, and there you go. So now you have your two holes. They're even with each other. You can see them right there. The next thing you're going to do is you are going to line these up, which is really odd that they don't. They line up like that. They don't line up like that, which is kind of odd, but okay. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to make some cuts. So you're going to go over from this line, you're over from this hole, maybe about 1/4 of an inch, and you're going to go up about 1/4 of an inch. So right about there. So if you draw a line straight and you draw it that, we're going to cut out a little notch, and we're going to do the same on both sides. All right, so we're just going to cut out that notch like that, and you're going to do the same on this side. So you're just going to come up, and you're going to notch out. All right, so this is now the, oh, one more thing, sorry, my bad. When you've got that notch, you're going to take your scissor, and you're actually going to make a cut at an angle to the hole. So you're going to make a cut at an angle to the hole. When this box is together like this is where you're going to thread and hook your rubber band to. So this becomes the mechanism for the spring. All right? And you can see now how that would go together. So, in my lack of preparedness for this video, I forgot to go grab a rubber band. So just give me 2 seconds to run out and grab one, because of course, you know, something has to go wrong with this kind of stuff. Okay. Alrighty, I'm back. Now, I did not have a rubber band, but I did have a hair tie. One of those ouchless hair ties. It's not very big, it's kind of a medium sized. And these things work great. And every one of these I've made, and this is my 4th box now, I've used these hair ties, and they were just great. So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our box together. Once you've made your cuts in your holes here, you're going to take your wings and you're going to fold them straight up. You're going to fold in these middle parts, all right, on both wings. Fold them in. And it looks almost like a face, right? So here's your ears, and here's your bat face or cat face. So this edge is now going to get adhered to this tab to start your box, okay? Oops, little gummy bear. I think he wants in on the action. It's like, why are you leaving me out? I I got that stamp set with the little gummy bears on it. Remember these little guys? So I made some gummy bears and cut them out. So you're going to bring that in and you're going to put this edge together. Just going to give that a minute to dry before I start putting rubber bands on there. At this point, you can start putting your rubber band in. See, now you can start seeing how that's going to come together. So this part right here is this bit right here that you're going to scrunch together. Okay? So you can see how that's going to come together now and lay flat like that once it's all put together. And your rubber band's going to be in the middle. So once you get to that point, you're going to take your rubber band and you're going to hook it to your little mechanism here. And you're going to hook it to the other side. Okay, and now you've got your spring. All right. So, I know it doesn't look much like a square right now, but that's okay. I'm actually going to use a piece of sticky tape for this next part because I really want it to stick. So this is why it's important that these two tabs, remember I told you those two tabs have to be side by side? Because these little triangles here are going to adhere to those tabs to make that box. So don't worry that it doesn't look like a box right now. It will once you get it all together. So I'm just going to put a piece of sticky tape right there. Of course I made it too big. I mean, you know, why make a video and everything go right? I mean, what fun is that? There's just no fun in that. Let's put those two together. And I'm going to go ahead and bring this tab over here. Try to line it up and get it as even as you can to the edge. There you go. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly throw a piece of sticky tape on there. Ooh, this one's really big. Let's trim that off a little bit. Peel that off. A little bit big there. Put that corner on there. Try to get that lined up as best as I can. And there you go. There's your box. Now to flatten it out, you're just going to push it in. And you're just going to flatten it out. And the first time you flatten it out, just go back through. Brush those edges really good. And there you go. So push in, lay flat. Oh, there's hair ties, great. I mean, they work so good. So if you have hair ties and you don't have rubber bands, use them. It does such a good job. So these are a 3x3 square all the way around. So you can decorate them fairly easy. Don't decorate the top and the bottom. You need those to push in. So there you go. One more time. Bink. Okay. There is your cube done. Let's go ahead and make the wrap. Well, take it back. Let's make the tray. Here's your template for the tray. You're going to cut a piece of cardstock 7 1/4 by 10 1/4. Okay. And oh, look at that. I just happen to have one cut. So with the short side to the top, we're going to go ahead and we're going to score at 1 inch and 2 inches, 5 1/4 inches. Oops, it went rogue. It went rogue. I don't have a rogue score line. Oh no, that ever happened to you? And 6 1/4 inches. All right. You're going to rotate your cardstock, long edge on the top. Again, you're going to go 1 inch, 2 inches, 8 1/4 inches, and 9 1/4 inches. So aside from my little rogue line right there, you're going to have cardstock that is kind of scored like that. Okay. So we're just going to turn it around, burnish all the edges. I thought about using that seashore paper, you know, with the fish on it. That's why I picked Night of Navy for this card tray. Burnish those edges. I thought the fish would be kind of cute. Kind of go with a little underwater theme. Okay. So there you go. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut away these 4 corners. So the 2 cubes or the 2 squares on the very outside edges of the long side or the short side, okay? Oh, and I don't have to draw lines for this. So we're just going to go ahead and follow our score lines. Cut those out. See that? Cut that out. Last one. All right. Once we've done that, we're just going to go ahead and cut these next 2. So these next 2 up, we're just going to go ahead and cut. We're not going to cut them out. We're just going to cut up to that second score line. Pretty easy. Next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make some notches. So these on the end, we're just going to notch these out a little bit. Take a little bit out of there. Now when you notch this big, the longer center piece, you're going to go from the edge to the first score line. So you're just going to notch that out. Okay? Now you can notch these if you want. All right? I'm not going to, because the last time I notched it out, I had a really hard time getting this to fit in there. I don't know why, I just did. So I'm just going to notch those out right there. So that first score line. The reason for that is that we're going to make the edges, you know, pretty durable. So we're going to fold them and then fold them again, and that'll give us some extra strength here on the side, like that. Okay? Next thing we want to do is we want to put the holes in for our ribbon. I'm taking the same hole punch that I used before, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to come in at an angle. And we're going to do that for a couple of reasons, and we're going to go in as far as we possibly can. It's going to give us, and we're going to go right about the center of that. Right about the center there. I don't know if you can see that. So right about the center there. it helps in keeping it fairly even when you bring it in this way. And if you go, so, and you're going to punch a second hole, and that's going to be where your ribbon goes. All right. Cut your ribbon about 5 inches. You don't want it too long. I'm going to use a piece of sticky tape here too, and I'm just going to use it in between these 2 holes. I'm going to thread my ribbon in this way. This ribbon is probably not the right ribbon to use because it was spare. I had it laying around, so I'm going to use it. See if I can kind of manipulate this to make it look right. Going to sew in the other side there. Okay, you want to leave enough ribbon for the pull out, and then you're going to take this, turn this around like that. And I'm going to lay this down, and it just holds the ribbon in place. I'm going to take another piece of tape, I'm going to put it on top of that guy. And I'm going to do the same with this one. So I'm just going to lay that down, and that holds it in place. I'm going to take a piece of sticky tape, and I am just going to go ahead and lay that in here over that ribbon. I'll probably lay down 2 because I really just want it to stay in place. And I want it to hold the edge, the end down. Okay, so you can then go ahead and just fold that over, get that to stay, and there you go. You got your handle. All right, I'm going to go ahead and use glue for this. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to put glue on the outside of those tabs. Okay, and on the inside of this first long one. So right there. Okay, so I'm going to fold that over, fold that in. Nope, my bad, my bad. Ooh, 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 ooh. Fold that in. Ah, I don't know what I'm doing. Bring it up. Supposed to hold it. What? I have to admit though, with my other ones I used sticky tape and it was a lot easier. I didn't have to worry about the glue coming undone. I'm holding it. Okay, when you got that stuck down, I'm just going to put a tick more on there just because. Just because. I'm going to fold that in. Fold that down. I'm going to take my bone folder, just give that a good. Burnish that edge, kind of push that glue down. And I'm just going to do the same to that side. I'll put a little glue on that tab, a little glue on that tab. I suppose you don't have to put glue on this one, but put glue right there on that one. And then bring that in, bring that up. Bring that in, bring that side up. And bring that side in. A good burnish. Hold that glue in place. A little bit of glue there. Fold that in. Good little burnish. And there is your tray. Simple as that. Doesn't get any easier than that. So your tray's done. Now you got your cube and your tray. All right, let's get onto the wrap and then we are done. Your wrap. You're going to cut a piece of cardstock at 6.5 by 10 1/4. We're going to go ahead and with the long side up, we're going to make some score lines. We're going to score at 1.5, 2 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay, I got it right. 5 7/8 and 7. Okay. This dark cardstock. I don't know. Let's see if I can find a little bit bigger piece. All right, so now we got our score lines. Fold and burnish those. This is going to be the hardest part of the card. I just want you to know that this is just, oh my gosh. I mean, I have to try to wrap my head around this part. Okay, you're going to put a little bit of glue on this short piece right there. Oh my gosh, you guys ready for it? Okay, wait for it. This is it. Okay, here we go. And fold it over. I just kind of set it down like this. Try and get it as even as I can. It does a pretty decent job. Well, and then I'm going to go in and kind of push that down. Oh my gosh, folks. There it is. Whew. That made me sweat a little bit. Okay, I'm wiping my brow on that one. And there you have it. So, now all it takes is decorating. You push your box down, put it into your tray, push it into your sleeve, and there you go. So, happy decorating, happy stamping, happy box making. And I'd love to see if you would post on my blog how you decorate yours. And I will post pictures of how I decorated mine. I actually have a second one here that I tried to make a video on and it just didn't work. So we're going to go ahead and try and decorate that one too. Using Coastal Cabana with that one. So I know it's a retired color, but I do love it. Hope someday that Stampin' Up! Brings it back. Okay. Well, there you go. I will have all the measurements to the pieces on my blog. And I hope you were able to follow along. It wasn't too bad. So I wish you a good day. And I wish you all happy stamping and happy decorating. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Oh no, don't tell me this cake gave out.